y'all's Gunnerz Collective. Back at it, you already know. Like a motherfucking smack addict. And as you can tell, we're in the cocina, homie. We're in the kitchen. So scared, come to the chow hall. It's going down, man. This right here is Gunnerz Chile. Homemade, authentic Chile. I'm going to get down. I'm going to show you how we do it in the hood. It's all good. You already know what it is. And a war story. So with that being said, let's get straight to it. The first thing you have to do to make Gunnerz Chile, the salsita that's fucking fire and desire like Rick James and Tina Marie, is you have to have the right ingredients. So what you're gonna need for this one is some white onion, a little cebollita, cebolla. I don't like it, but it's that flavor, homie. Some fresh garlic. Always need fresh garlic, fresh. Don't use the shit, don't be fucking lazy and go to Walmart and get the fucking jar. That shit don't work, okay? Not around here. Bam, caldo de pollo. You use the ones in the jar, or you can use the little cubes. I use the cubes, it's just enough, you know what I mean? Today was a good day like ice cube. 3 tomates. It doesn't matter what kind of tomatoes you get whatever kind of tomatoes you like. I like the Romas. The Romas are bomb, they're fire. So I'm gonna roll with the Romas today, and in that fashion. Sas. It ain't Corona time, maybe it could be, but at the end of the day, in a menudo standard direct fashion, we're gonna get to a limon or a lime. A little lime never hurt nobody. Couple jalapenos. Just two, we're not trying to make it too hot, because some of you motherfuckers out there can't deal with it, you know what I mean? In a real way, if it was me, it would just be all jalapenos, but you know what it is, man. The gun, he likes that hot shit, ain't nothing to it but to do it. And one of these bad boys right here, these motherfuckers right here are hot, you know what I mean? And I like them. So first thing you do is you gotta have your comal heated up. For those of you that don't know, this is a comal. You usually cook tortillas on it, but today we're gonna roast our chilies. So we're gonna roast our chilies. You take the stems off. Got the little basura right there, because you gotta be clean. You know what I mean? Can't be like those fucking white hinders that never clean their house. Throw another one right there. You know, and we're keep it going. Of course, everything is pre-washed. I washed all my shit. I'm not a dirty maniaco. We're gonna do it in that fashion, and we're gonna also throw the tomatoes on there. So we're gonna get everything roasted. Okay, you always want to roast your salsita, your chile. Reason being, it just tastes better. It brings the heat out. It brings the flavors out. It's more authentic. This is what you want to do with it. This is how the gun gets down. This is just my little recipe. Sounds good? Hey, I can't call it like an alcoholic. I can't show you the way. I can only give you the game. You know what I mean? You got to learn that path yourself. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get a fucking big old fierro, which I'm used to. And in that fashion. And I'm going to cut me a little cebollita. So let me get a little plate. You know, I have my cutting board and shit, but we'll do it with the plate. You know, ain't nothing to it but to do it. Don't do what I do, kids. Don't do this at home. You know what I mean? Unless you like the gun. And I'm gonna cut me up some of this this onion. Of course, we'll break out the cilantro that we need in a minute, but we're gonna keep that fresh in the refrigerator for right now. So let's break out just a little bit of cebolla. Just a little bit. I don't use too much. You don't need too much. You know what I mean? A lot of this is already pre-cut, pre-sliced. And that's it for me, man. Just a little bit of a cebollita, little bit of cebolla, because you know, I don't like too much, man. I just want the flavor. I don't like that crunch. I've never been involved with liking what that shit does to me. It just fucks me up. As a kid, I never liked it, you know. And it is what it is. So we got the cebolla cracking right there. Let me throw it back in the bolsita. We'll need that tonight for some arroz. You know what I mean? You gotta have flavor. You gotta have flavor, gente. You know, excuse the kitchen. I know it's not the best. It's not as modern warfare as it should be, but at the same time, I'm just trying to get it. You know, don't be mad at me. Be glad at me. Bam, cilantro. You gotta have the cilantro. Cilantro is a must. Okay, so now we're gonna take some. And make sure that you keep an eye on this shit, because you don't want it to do too much. You know what I mean? You don't want it to do too much. Look at me like I've also had the wrong fucking burner on. You know what I mean? Can't call it like an alcoholic. I'm just trying to get by. So now we're gonna break open the garlic, the fresh garlic. Let me do it like this in this fashion, because I don't want to get it all dirty in my pad. You know, you don't want to do too much, because it'll be all fucked up. And I'm just gonna use. I'm not gonna use the whole thing of garlic, because that's way too much, gente. You know what I mean? You're doing too much. I'm just gonna use 2 cloves. 2, bang bang, right? And I'm gonna peel them. Make sure that you peel them right, so that way you're good to go in the hood. You know, and a lot of people will roast their garlic. They'll roast it. They like that roasted flavor when it comes to the garlic. I myself don't go that route. You know what I mean? That's never been the route that I went. ¿Sabes qué? I just follow the yellow brick road and do what I do in a menudo style, but at the same time, man, I ain't mad at you. Do it however the fuck you want to do it. Get it how you want to get it. This recipe right here, we don't do it that way. So I'm gonna throw the garlic on there too and roast it just a little bit. Just a little bit for this one. So let's talk war stories, right? While that's going, we'll cut up some cilantro. We're gonna talk about a war story. I'm gonna tell you guys about the time I got shot in the back of the head. Okay, I know a lot of people ask the gun, they say, and they want to know, why do you always wear them hats? You know what I mean? Is it because you're going balls? Is it because you're an old motherfucker? And you know what? That's part of the reason. I ain't gonna lie. That is definitely part of the reason. I am an old motherfucker. You don't want to use too much cilantro, just enough. That is part of the reason. I am getting older. You know, as you get older, you get colder and bolder. For having the weight of the world on the shoulders. But at the same time, that's not the whole reason behind me wearing a hat. The reason I wear a hat is my head is totally scarred up in the back. And that's because I got shot, right? So in 97, when I was fresh out of YA, you know, I've been out for a little while, and it was early 97. I've probably been out a few months. And what happened was I was chilling with my boy at a park. And for those of you that are from Merced, you know what park it is. It's called Farron's Park. It's over there by Loughborough, right? The Loughborough area, the north side of Merced. And I was over there chilling at Farron's Park, and we were sitting at a table. You know, there's a lot of benches, a lot of tables, and it was me, my homeboy, and a couple chicks. And we're just chopping game, you know, spitting game. We're youngsters, we're fresh out. I got the Mongolian whipping and dipping. I was steady tripping. And I had a little something on me. I had a little piece on me. And I thought I was bad. You know, I thought I was somebody. I thought I was real. Let me put this up a little bit so you guys can see me. Anyways, I thought I was the one, right? And what had happened was some Africano actually went by, and I guess he seen us out there kicking it. And now at this time, we weren't really beefing with like Merced Gangster Crips or Nor Africanos, nothing like that. There was a lot of black and brown love, man. It was all good in the hood. It was all unity. Only ones we were going to trip on is if some Southsiders slid by or something, you know what I mean? We were going to get the busting. But as far as the Africanos, it was all love. You know, we weren't over there kicking it with them and partying. It wasn't ba-da-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. But at the same time, there was no animosity there. There was no beef, I thought. What I didn't know prior to this incident was, I guess, some Vato had went by their pad, the Africanos' little hangout spot, and shot it up. And the Vato looked similar to me. You know, at the time I was skinny, long Mongolian. It was what it was. Always wearing red, flamed up. Norte, you know, to the fullest. That's what I was with. So Vato had went and did a little fucking whatever he did, dude's pad, and he felt some type of way. So when he seen me, he automatically assumed that it was me. I was the perpetrator. Blame gun. Gun's always guilty for everything. And so the Vato came at me. And I didn't know. I'm sitting here, sitting on the bench, chopping it up with this chick, with my boy. When my boy's eyes got big, when he noticed it was too late, dude shot me in the back of the head. So he domed me in the back of the head. Story goes, I guess I fell out. I fell forward. It was the end of the, you know, although we've gone to the end. Orale, boys to men. It was the end of the road. I was done. My homie thought I was dead. The homeboy started busting back. They got it. They exchanged fire. And that was at the chicks. I'm falling. I'm yelling. I can't get up. I'm done. They're running and yelling and pushing and gussing. My homeboy stepped back. He kept busting. So did the Africano. Anyways, cops apprehend everybody. They take me in an ambulance. I wake up. I don't know what happened. I'm done. You know, I should have been dead. And because he domed me at point blank range. And I wake up at the hospital. At this time, it's the old hospital on the west side, MCMC. MCMC hospital, which is no longer there, was located right next to the juvenile hall. That's where they take me, right? So I'm there, and my homeboy's mom's a nurse there, so she's calling all the homeboys. Everyone knows in Merced that I got shot. So I wake up 2 weeks later in the hospital, bandages all over my head. I don't even know what the fuck took place, what happened. The homeboy's running me down the story. I guess the other homeboy, he got locked up, and the Africano actually got shot in his neck. He got grazed. He's actually in the hospital bed next to me, and he's already up. You know, he lived too. It was just a graze. And he's actually apologizing to me like, bro, I thought it was you. Woo, woo, woo. And I was like, here's the story. We're going to run with the story. This is what it was. And of course we did that. Time has elapsed. Everyone's good. He ended up not doing no time. The homeboy ended up doing time for blasting him. And I ended up doing 2 weeks in the hospital. And so I got out. And that is the reasoning and the story behind my head. One of these days I'll post pictures, show you the scarring. But I'm very self-conscious of it. So I've always wore hats from that time on. I used to hate it when I was locked up. I didn't have no hats. So I was like, oh, I'm mad, but I gotta show my head. And of course I got tattoos in the back of my head, DEL real big. So when I got shot, it blew that apart. Basically blew the neighborhood off the back of my dome. And there's some motherfuckers out there right now like, good, you don't deserve to have the hood on your head. Well, it is what it is. It's still there. You know what I mean? I'll get it shaded in now. How about that? And in that fashion, no disrespect to the young homie striving, but that's what it was. So back to the chile. Let's get to it. So as you can see, gente, the chile, let me move this closer. Spence thought this is all over the place. I'm new to this, steady true to this stuff, is roasting. So you want to get it roasted on all sides, right? You want to get it nice and roasted and bring it up to par. Now let me get a fucking, we're going to need a, what do you call it, Spence on it. I wash dishes, that's why. We're going to boil. We're going to boil some agua, right? Reason being, that's what part of the recipe calls for. It doesn't matter. I don't do 2 quarts, 2 cups, 2 ounces, 2 fucking none of that. You know what I mean? This ain't the dope game. You just fill up some water, enough so you can throw your tomatoes and chiles and garlic in to boil. So I got me a little water cracking off, and I got it turned up. We're going to get it to boiling. Now, of course, I want to roast these tomatoes and everything, these chiles, and I'm not going to give you a set amount of time. There's no set amount of time. It's to look and to touch. If you see that it looks good, it's how you want it. How do you want it? Then that's what you do. It's got to feel good today, right? I'm making it happen. That's what you do. Anyways, right? Back at it like a smack at it. So you got your water boiling, right? Hit it with a little bit of salt. Not too much, just a little bit, just for flavor. So I do it like that. Watch out. I'm done, right? A little bit of salt, and everything is roasting on this comal. Perfect, you know, everything is looking good. You'll know it's just about ready, like I said, when the tomatoes and the chiles start to crack. They'll start to split, to crack a little bit. ¿Sabes qué? That means shit is ready. And of course, I don't advise you do this at home. Don't just pull it off with your fingers, but that's how I do it because yeah, I'm an idiot like that, right? And I'm the gun. So I'm gonna pull all my chiles and my tomatoes off and put them into the boiling water, right? It's not quite boiling yet, but it will be here in a minute. That's, yeah, I'm trying to do chef where this fucking shit's hot. Sauce! And in that fashion. Of course, I'm gonna get a fork when it comes to my garlic because that's too close for comfort. So that's getting nine baboso like that. At least not that much of one. Got my garlic roasted, looks good. Everything looks good in the neighborhood, right? It is what it is. Okay, so let me turn that off. Bam. And then you're gonna let that boil. You're gonna let that boil and get a nice boil because what you want to do is you want to soften up the tomatoes and get that flavor in there. We already got that roasted flavor cracking, and so now we're gonna get that going. Of course, over here I got my cilantro cut up. I got my cebolla cut up. Let me show you how that looks. You know, and in that fashion. We got cilantro and cebolla cut up. And right now, and in that fashion, I'm gonna cut up the lime. Okay, we're gonna do the lime. And you wanna just do it in half. You're gonna use half the lime, okay? The other half is gonna be for a little modelo tonight. But that's how I'm gonna do it, right? So I'm gonna use half the lime. Let's make it look pretty like the taco truck. And we're gonna get ready. Of course, over here, we got the chiles and the tomates boiling. Bang, bang. Don't never said I never did it, right? And that's what we're doing. So the shit's cracking. Let's tell another little war story while we're at it, like a smack at it. So trip out, right? So with that happening, of course, you're gonna need a blender. Get your blender ready, and we're gonna put it all together. And the salsita is gonna be fire and desire. Gonna need a bowl to put the salsita in, so we're gonna put that over here. Spence on the pink bowl. It ain't no Hoto shit, but it's what they had at sale at Walmart. So trip out, fucking make sure that shit starts to boil and get it good. Let me see, but kind of high. So another war story, right? Trip out on this one. So it was me and a well-known homeboy out of the town, and a Mercedes. He's from my water. He's actually a transplant. He's from a different city, Fresno. So those of you that know who I'm talking about know he's a white boy from Fresno, moved to Mercedes from the hood. We ended up going to a club. We went to a club. This was in 2006. I actually still have the article put up in a photo album somewhere. But we went to a club, and this was the night before Thanksgiving. That's when it cracked off. That's when the club was popping. That's when everyone was doing their thing. It just was what it was. I had a little ferry on me, so I was like, hey, bro, let's go to the club. Let's go kick it. So we hit this club called La Bahia in Mercedes. It's on Main Street. It's more of a paisa club, more puros Mexicanos, nationals. They're all chilling right there. But at the same time, we were just trying to get in where we fit in and go in there and kick it. Now, all the Mexicanos that are there are ballers. People that have money, people that have been around, people that are well-known. They're out there getting their motherfucking issue on. So we slide up in that motherfucker, we're chilling. And I remember that day I was actually wearing a jersey and I had a white t-shirt under and I had a red thermal under. I was wearing, I ain't gonna lie, I ain't gonna front, I was wearing a white 49ers jersey. You know what I mean? A Joe Montana. I thought I was bad. I didn't even know a Niners fan, but I was fronting. You know, I was flamed up. And we're in there, me and my boy, a couple other homies, a couple chicks, and one of my homeboys calls my boy Titi. He actually calls, he's like, hey, I'm trying to get in the club, but they won't let me in. I'm just wearing a white t-shirt. So of course I go to get at the bouncer, me and the homeboys. Me being the older homeboy, I go get at him like, hey bro, what's up? Can the homie get in where he fits it? And he's like, no, I can't let him in with just a white tee. There's a kind of a dress code here, right? And I was like, well, what does he need? He said, just a shirt. I said, what if I take off my shirt, take off my red thermal, give that to him? Can he get in with the long sleeve red thermal? He says, yeah, that's no problem. He just can't come in with the white tee. Bang, bang. So I go out there, me and the homeboy that I'm with, and the reason I'm not speaking his name is because he's the one that actually caught this case and starts getting read between the lines. Anyway, so we go out there. And we're out there. I noticed there's a Wato wearing like a fur coat. This Wato thinks he's in fucking New York or something. He's balling. And there's an Escalade, a blue Escalade parked right there. He's with the Hyena. There's a couple other Watos with them. We're not really paying attention, but I spot him. You know, my awareness is up. So I see him. And it is what it is. But we go out there and we go around the corner and I'm taking off my jersey so I give the homeboy my thermal so he can get in the club. And the other homeboys stood in the front. The one that actually caught this case, he stood in the front. So we're around the corner. Next thing you know, we hear some yelling and screaming and pushing and yelling and bussing. We come back around, the guy in the fur coat's on the ground. The chick is getting the fucking phone thrown over her head. The homeboy threw it. He snatched up out her hand and threw it. And the other officers took off running. Of course, without too much being said, I immediately rush and I have a little RV on me, right? I have a little RV so I get to slicing and dicing like slicing and dicing, right? And we're getting off. We're getting off and we're on Main Street now in Merced. And so anyone that's ever been there, they knows, I don't know if it still goes down like this, but there's cops on horses. And it's a party night, so everyone's partying. Like I said, it's the night before Thanksgiving. Motherfuckers are out there. It's kick it time. Here come two cops on horses. One takes off that way after one of my homeboys. The other homeboy, he's smart. He runs across the street, start kissing this hyena, plays it off like they're just a couple. You know, couples gone wild. They don't even know what's cracking. And me and the other homeboy, we take off. Now we get to a little spot, and there's only two ways to go. You can either go right or you can go left. So I'm going left, to the left, to the, I slide. He goes to the right. And luckily, not for him, dispense on la tira homie, but the fucking placa goes after him. I slide up under the door, throw an 8-ball under the door. I had an 8-ball. Oh yeah, right? I ain't gonna lie. I threw it up under a car. And boom, the homeboy fucking, they're after him. He ends up getting caught up. It ends up coming in the newspaper. I think he took 8 years. They tried to give him gang enhancement, say it was gang related. And so what the story was behind it was, I guess when the homeboy came out, dude was kind of looking at him. The homeboy caught his eye. Now the homeboy that was with me, man, he's a nut. Anyone that knows him, he's a fucking maniac. You can't just stare at him like that. So he said something, dude said something back thinking he was by himself. And the homeboy flighted him immediately, knocked him out. And then we were on him like a couple of pit bulls. And that was that. But I remember that story. I'll never forget it because I get locked up. I end up being in Tracy. And a homeboy slides that article under my door. He's like, hey, you know who this homie is? He's from your hood. And I was like, it's funny because in the article it says several other Norteño street gang members fled on foot and weren't apprehended. Bang, bang. Bam. Not that day. A couple months later, I was beat down. But that's what it was. Forgive me of my stomach. I know I'm gaining weight a little bit. The hips and the dips and the slips. But it is what it is. Anyways, okay, so I got my water boiling. As you can see, it's coming to a nice boil. Okay. So now I'm going to take you guys over here, one time for your mentality, right? Forgive my kitchen. I know I'm not modern warfare, like I said. And we're going to put this in my brand new blender, okay? Salsa. I've never used this blender before, so I don't know to get down with it. But let me put this back on here so I can take this off. Look at me, the lavoso that can't even take off the fucking lid on the blender, huh? How's this go? Salsa. Forgive me for I'm not tech savvy. I'm gonna have to edit this shit out because I'm looking like a baboso right now. It's brand new. I've never used this blender, so I'm gonna fuck around and bust it one time for my mental. There it goes. Maybe I won't have to edit it out. Okay, so you want to put your tomatoes in. Put your tomatoes in the blender. Oh, them motherfuckers are nice. You want to get all that roastedness in it, right? There's my tomates. There's my jalapeno. You know, that motherfucker right there. Ooh, looks good. There's my jalapeno. Another little jalapeñito for the road. And this bad boy right here, that's the heat right there. Then of course you want to get your roasted garlic. Get your garlic, and that's bomb. Then you want to pour a little bit of this jugo, a little juice, not too much. I say right there is good in the hood, right? Now, with that being said, gente, we're gonna bring over our cilantro, our limon, our lime, and our cebolla, right? We're gonna slide all that in. Let me put the cebolla. Let me put the cilantrito. Yes, cilantrito. I said it. I made it up. Call it like an alcoholic. We're gonna get that in there, and then don't waste nothing. Just get we're rich. We're Mexican. And then I'm gonna squirt the lime, right? Get that lime squirted in there. Nice. Get as much as you can of it. You know, as much as you can. That's the flavor right there. That is the flavor. So we're gonna put the lime. Need a little bit of salt. A lot of people put salt to taste. Myself, I've been used to making this for so long. That's good in the hood right there. And then one of the key ingredients I told you is the caldo de pollo. You're gonna put the whole little cube in there, because today was a good day, like I said. We're gonna put that in there. And now, gente, it's gonna get loud. So dispensa. But let's chop it. Okay. And chop it. And in that fashion, bang, bang, right? Straight to the bowl. Again, I'm having troubles and difficulties with this shit. At least I can say one thing about Walmart. They made this motherfucker right. You know what I mean? This cap, once it goes on there, it's on there. Woo! It's all good in the hood. Spends on la tira. Okay. Pop that motherfucker off. Old weak ass Gunner can't even get the top off, huh? And then, look at this. Look at the consistency on that. One time for your mentality. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that, my friends, Spencer, is the bomb salsita. Ooh wee. I'm just saying though, the shit is fire and desire. With that being said, man, I hope you enjoyed a couple war stories and cooking with the gun. You know, I don't do this all the time, so dispensa en la tira, but it is what it is. That's my recipe. Do it. It's bomb. It's the best. I promise. It's fire. Secret family recipe. We've been doing it for years. It is what it is. And it only takes, you see what, like 5-10 minutes to make? Bang, bang. It is what it is. The gun.